Assembly Bill 1042 by Assemblymember Cooper and according to professions and vocations.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, AB 1042 makes several changes to the definition of a proprietary private security officer to ensure that individuals providing these security services are properly trained and licensed. AB 1042 will also make other updates to the payment of wages for employees of security companies. There is no opposition to the bill, no known opposition. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Hill. Members, debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wesso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Morrell, aye.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Allen. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines.
Aye.
Aye. Glazer. Aye. Huff. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Nilsson.
Ayes 36, no 0. Measure passes. Members, we're going to now move to file item 150, Senator Block. Pass on file. File item 151, Senator Hill. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 180 by Assemblymember Bonilla and according to professions and vocations and making an appropriation therefore.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, AB 180 extends the sunset date of the Cemetery and Funeral Bureau and implements recommendations from the March Oversight Sunset Review. There is no known opposition to the bill. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, members.
Thank you very much, Senator Hill. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none. Members, would there be any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none. Ayes 39, no 0. Measure passes. File item 152, Senator Hill. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 177 by Assemblymember Bonilla and according to professions and vocations and making appropriation therefore.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, AB 177 extends the sunset date for the Board of Professional Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Geologists, the California Architects Board, and the Landscape Architects Technical Committee. This bill also addresses several issues raised during the sunset review to better enable these boards and committees to carry out their regulatory duties. There is no known opposition to the bill, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote, members.
Thank you, Senator Hill. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, would there be any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none. Ayes 39, no 0. Measure passes. Members, we're going to move now to file item 153. Senator Jackson. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 552 by Assemblymember O'Donnell and Act relating to public contracts.
Senator Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, AB 552 seeks to provide greater certainty in damages arising from public works project delays. When a contractor fails to complete a public works project on time, public agencies seek damages from the contractor for the delay. Public works contracts usually contain specific dollar amounts that agencies can collect from contractors for each day they fail to meet their deadline. Recently, several public agencies have begun using clauses in their contracts creating delay penalties for unspecified amounts. These undefined damages have led to situations where insurance companies, who are the ones usually who pick up the tab, cannot underwrite a project due to the uncertain level of risk. In other words, from a very specified amount, it's a nebulous amount, and thus insurance isn't able to be written in order to pay those costs. This measure restores certainty to public contracts by requiring agencies to set any delay damages in their contracts to a specific amount. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Members, debate or discussion? Seeing none. Members, would there be any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none. Ayes 39, no 0. Measure passes. File item 154, Senator Hall. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 522 by Assemblymember Burke and Act relating to public contracts.
Senator Hall.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President and Senators. AB 522 directs the California Department of Technology to create and implement a standardized contract performance assessment report system when awarding reportable informational technology contracts and projects. As indicated in the recent state under the auditor's report, between 1994 and 2013, the state terminated or suspended 7 IT projects after spending nearly $1 billion. Currently, the state has about 44 IT projects under development that are reported to cost more than $4 billion. AB 522 will allow the state to evaluate how well contractors perform on these IT projects by creating a contractor performance assessment report system. AB 522 has received strong bipartisan support on behalf of Assemblywoman Autumn Burke. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Great. Thank you, Senator Hall. Members, debate or discussion? Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. I certainly appreciate the effort to account for these large cost overruns that have happened in the state and certainly in local governments. But what the study doesn't take into consideration is the public agencies' blunders in changing scopes of projects that has a lot to do with a lot of these cost overruns. So I'd like to ask the author, is that going to be a part of the Caltech study to look at the involvement of the local governments or the state governments that might have contributed to those cost overruns?
Senator Hall, are you comfortable answering a question?
You should probably consult with Autumn Burke.
Okay. You've answered the question. Thank you.
Respectfully ask for aye vote.
Okay, members, any further debate or discussion? Senator Hall, I'm assuming that was your close? Okay. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? No. Bates? Bell? Aye. Berryhill? No. Block? Aye. Cannella? De Leon? Fuller? Gaines?
Aye.
Aye. Galgioni? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Huff? No. Jackson? Aye. Lara? Leno? Aye. Leva? Aye. Lara, aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? Morrell? No. Wynn? No. Nielsen? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? No. Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wachowski? Aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Secretary, call the absent members.
Bates? No. Cannella? De Leon? Fuller? Morlock? Nielsen? Morlock, aye.
Ayes 27, noes 9. Measure passes. Members, we've got about 15 minutes. We'll just be taking these in numerical order. File item 155, 156, 157, and 158. Starting with file item 155, Senator Pan. Secretary, pass on file. Pass temporarily, yes. File item 156, Senator Wachowski. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 692 by Assemblymember Quirk, an act relating to greenhouse gases.
Senator Wachowski.
Mr. President, this matter helps support the state's low-carbon fuel goals by encouraging the development and the procurement of very low-carbon fuels. Now, a very low-carbon transportation fuel is defined as a liquid or gaseous fuel having no greater than 40% of carbon intensity of the closest comparable petroleum fuel. The author wanted to make sure that I explain that to folks. Basically, the bill requires that beginning in January 2017, very low carbon transportation fuels must comprise 3% of the total California transportation fuel portfolio. It increases 1% a year. We're not really picking a particular fuel or technology, but we're providing certainty in the very low carbon fuel market that California will be a stable purchaser. And I urge and I vote.
Thank you, Senator Wachowski. Members, debate or discussion? Any debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Berryhill. No. Block. I. Canella. No. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines.
No?
No. Galgiani. Glazer. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. No. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. Morrell. Morlock, no. Wynn. No. Nielsen. No. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Morrell, no. Bell. I. De Leon. Fuller. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye.
Ayes 24, noes 13, measure passes. Members, we're going to jump a little bit here to file item 163. Senator Pan. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 438 by Assemblymember Chu, an act relating to state government.
Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President, senators. Every year, 500,000 work-related injuries occur, and our workers' compensation system is difficult to navigate, even if you are a native English speaker. And it's critical that any worker that has a serious loss of income or permanent disability due to work injury be able to access the workers' comp system in their first language. California has the largest limited English proficient population in the country, which comprises nearly 20% of our state population, or almost 7 million residents. The author has worked closely with the Department of Industrial Relations on the final language for AB 438. This bill required the department to translate its most used documents into Korean, Chinese, Tagalog, and Vietnamese by January 1st, 2018. Currently, these documents are only available in English and Spanish. We have heard from organizations on the ground representing limited English-speaking clients, particularly Asian Pacific Islanders, who don't know about their workers' comp rights and have difficulty accessing benefits. Not providing in-language access potentially locks out tens of thousands of Californians from workers' comp benefits that they are entitled to. AB 438 would provide needed access to services for our limited English populations. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Pan. Members, debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines.
Aye.
Aye. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. Morrell. Wynn. I. Nielsen. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. Runner, I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, I. Hall, I.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Leva. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. Nielsen.
Ayes 36, no 0. Measure passes. Members, we're now going to fall back to file item 155. Senator Pan.
Pass on file.
Oh, okay. Pass on file. I'm going to move then to file item 157. Senator Wachowski. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1178 by Assemblymember Ashajian, enacting to vehicles.
Senator Wachowski.
Mr. President, this bill is going to strengthen California's current laws by prohibiting manufacturers of cars from taking negative actions against a dealer when the vehicle is exported or resold after the dealer has collected sales tax and registered the vehicle in California. The authors work with the opposition, and I urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Wachowski. Members, debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. Bates. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines.
Aye.
I. Galgioni. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, I. Anderson, I.
Secretary, call the absent members.
Canella, I. Bates, I. De Leon, Fuller, Runner, I.
Ayes 38, no 0. Measure passes. Members, now we're going to go back to file item 155. Senator Pan. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 858 by Assemblymember Wood, enacting to Medi-Cal.
Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, I appreciate your indulgence. AB 858 allows federally qualified health centers and rural health clinics to hire marriage and family therapists to have their services reimbursed, just like psychologists and social workers can do. MFTs are recognized by the state as Medi-Cal providers, but are not recognized as such in clinic settings for purpose of billing. And up to 26% of primary care patients actually have some mental health disorder. This is particularly an issue for adults with chronic conditions such as diabetes and heart disease. The need for additional mental health providers is particularly acute in rural parts of California. And this bill addresses workforce issues with qualified providers who are recognized by Medi-Cal in other settings. It is time to allow us to recognize them in clinic settings, allow them to be recognized as reimbursable providers. I respectfully ask for an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pan. Members, debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 39, no 0, measure passes. Members, we're now going to move to file item 158. Senator Wolk. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1045 by Assemblymember Irwin, enacting to solid waste.
Senator Wolk.
Thank you, Mr. President. 1045 is supported by both industry and environmental groups and has bipartisan support. It requires Cal EPA and Cal Recycle to work together to establish a statewide policy to promote the use of compost, and the bill also requires other agencies to work together to coordinate and streamline the regulations. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Wolk. Members, debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines.
Aye.
Aye. Galgioni. Aye. Glazer. Hall. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Wesso. Aye. Huff. Hall. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Latta. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. Nielsen. No. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wykowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Secretary, call the absent members, please.
Berryhill. No. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Glazer. Aye. Hill. Aye. Huff. No. Wynn. No.
Ayes 27, noes 11. Measure passes. Members, we're now going to move to file item 159. Senator Wachowski, Secretary, please read.